What do you remember from this? Well, this doesn't happen to a lot of people, of course.
Yeah.
What do you remember from meeting him then?
I remember being in a kind of trance, you know what I mean? Because it was someone that you've always looked up on, you know, and you never really had no intention of meeting him. You thought, you know, this guy's in my era, and he's a legend already. And you hear so much about him because he's from past in my era anyway. He's the only fighter really that you remember fighting, Muhammad Ali. See you later, Ali. Take care, man.
And thanks, Ali, for help.
So he's the only one I really remember, you know. So actually meeting him, and that's what you're doing, and that's what you're progressing to be, inspiring to be any form of. You know, it's a great motivation.
So that made, or you're saying it made a big difference to your career as well. Just meeting him.
Yeah, well, knowing that, you know, you look at these people as, when you're younger, you look at these people as kind of like, as gods, you know, and to actually be there beside the man who you're classing as a god, someone better than you, and you're realizing that he's a human being as well, for what he's made and what he's achieved and what he's done in his life. You know, if you've done a part of that, you'll be very happy, you know, so it's a big inspiration in that sense, yeah.
I guess you could say he's one of these extraordinary few human beings that pretty much everybody knows.
Yeah, you know, one word could describe what Muhammad Ali is, and I think, you know, because he's touched every generation, young, you know, middle-aged, old people, you know, he's touched everyone, and not only in this one country, all over the world. Apparently, you know, he's the only person you say you could go into the deepest part of Africa, any forest at all, and he's the only man that they know the name of. You know, they won't even know the president of the United States, you know what I mean? He's the only man that know the name of, it was him. So, you know, he's done something, hasn't he?
Have you been into the deepest part of Africa?
Never. Been to Africa, been to Ghana, been to South Africa, I've been to Cape Town, but nothing, no Venezuela or anything like that. But not Africa, you know.
What did you think about South Africa?
I thought that it was a bit scary at some points, you know what I mean? And
Where did you end up Cape Town?
I can't remember where I went to in Cape Town, I can't remember the hotel where it was. But I'd done the Blue Mountain things and that kind of stuff. But what got to me straight away was when I arrived there, and I was surprised to see the shanty towns and, you know, the shacks what people were living in, and I thought, boy, you know, I thought things changed, you know, and from what I see on TV, and when I seen the people living like they're living, they didn't look too unhappy, but still they were living like that, and I thought, it just reminds me of all the old days, you know, what was going on in South Africa before the apartheid, and that's what the first impression I got, and you can still feel the separation when you're there as well. You can, you know, you don't feel like you're part of a whole community, a group. You know, maybe living there you might feel like that, but the first impression I got on a holiday vacation, maybe what I've been told, maybe what I've been programmed by TV, but I could feel the separation in there. I could feel it, man. Yeah, you know, they don't mix too well. Maybe it's not true, maybe it's true, I don't know, but I could feel that they don't mix too well.
When you say that, what do you think about the mix well here in Moss Side, Manchester, or say Moss Side? Do you live in Moss Side or?
Well, I don't live here, but you know, I'm here every day, yeah, so I know what's going on.
So my personal opinion is that I thought it would be much more conflicts or problems. That's what I heard, but you know how it is to hear things. And then I come here and this is one of few places where I think it's far from good, of course, but it's better than any other place I've been to.
Yeah,
in
listen,
the world,
you know,
actually.
we've been labelled through all the trouble back in the 70s, 80s, really, you know, from all the gang warfare business that's been going on. You know, when you had areas against areas, for instance, you had Salford against Moss Side, Cheetham Mill against Salford, you know. So it's all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And your area is your pride and code, I suppose, you know, but You know, that gun stuff is out the window now. You might have a couple of guys living on somebody else's reputation, but that's about it. You know, and as far as this gym's concerned, we're not interested in gangs whatsoever. We've had people coming here from various gangs, different sizes of, you know, groups and whatever, and came in and have trained together, and we don't have none of it. We never had no trouble in here, never had to call the police for nothing, no situation. So, and that's in what, 30 years, and I've been here the whole time, so I can vouch for that.
Well, you made a career.
Yeah.
So when did you finish then?
I finished 18 years ago, and I had a good time. You know what I mean?
How old are you today?
I'm 48 now.
48, because I saw these black and white images of you.
Yeah, the good pictures though.
And
Yeah.
I thought, wow, you must be older than you look. 48?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, boy.
I'm 52.
Right, okay.
And,
Well then.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So these kids who come here today, is it the same kind of kids who come here today, say, compared to 81 when it was open after?
When you say same kind of kids, because we have kids in here, and back in the day, in the 80s, when we were here then, kids were a lot tougher. Maybe because there wasn't that much to do, you had much choice, and it's like survival of the fittest kind of thing. But the kids were a lot tougher, a lot harder. These days, they're more like want to be mollycoddled, and to do it, some of them, but not as many. Whereas you get 9 out of 10 kids that come in the gym would be rough, aggressive, and want to fight and can fight. Back in the day, but now, you know, you get 3 out of 10 maybe, if you're lucky, that can fight a little bit, and they don't really know the meaning of it because it's not their fault. They've just been brought up that way, and that's the way life is for them. You know what I mean? They don't have to be a footballer no more. You can be the best footballer you want on Xbox. So, you can do it all on the machine. You don't have to go exercising. You can do it all for you. Even try and bring machines in with like cross trainers and things that do it for you. So, they're a bit softer these days, I would say.
Would you say that life has become better than when young lads like that kind of are a bit more fussy? Is it better today or 30 years ago when you kind of came in?
Better in what sense?
More opportunities.
Yeah,
easier life.
Well, yeah, it is.
Possibilities, I would say.
Yeah, it is easier. It's easier life, without a doubt, because you've got more choice now. Back in the day, like say, when we were kids growing up, you go outside and you play with whatever was there, whether it be a piece of wood and stone. You try and make something that can roll, or make a ball, or cricket bat or something out of what's out there on the street. These days, you get everything. Anything you want, it's out there. People got choices. They've got computers. They got everything they want to do, and they're still bored. So, and before my era as well, before that, there was less to have as well. That's why the fighting back in the days of maybe if you go back to Jack Johnson, there's nothing at all to it. There's so many good fighters because the way they've been brought up hard, tough men. Different era. Just before me, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, them kind of boys. Tough men, very tough men. When you think about it, Rudan.
You were a heavyweight then, or?
Light heavyweight, light heavy.
How do the heavyweight look like that? If you were a light heavyweight?
I was light heavyweight, 12 and a half stone. I was boxing it.
Do you miss it?
Not really, no. I'm happy. I don't miss it at all. Because it's been that long, and you find other things that are interesting, and now I can train and just relax myself and talk on camera to you guys.
But you said, as regards to traveling, you said this is the most important a young man or girl can do.
Especially if you're from an area, say like this, especially that, because if you're doing that kind of stuff, traveling, open up your eyes, and you can see other people live, other people focus on different situations that you might have over here. you might think it's bad over here, but when you go and check out someone else's situation, you know, you'll see how really bad it is, you know. So traveling also opens your eyes to, you know, world's a big world out there. And there's a man here that's just gone in the army, and he never been on this Princess Parkway, this road. He's never been further than this road before. And hopefully he'll be traveling around the world, hopefully. So that'll open his eyes up as well. And you find answers to a lot of things as well that you want to do in life as well.
Well, so when you came to South Africa, was that the strongest journey for you?
No, what do you mean stronger?
Well, which made the biggest impression on you?
No. It's just a glitch, you know, I'm a glitch really, going to South Africa. It was, you know, I wasn't there to really, I was just there kind of quick, you know, I mean, I was only there for a week. And yeah, I know, but still, it's an eye-opener because, like I said, the shanty town's still at the same, and that surprised me. That, and it just reminded me when I first seen it, and everyone leaving on corrugated roofs and buildings, and I'm thinking nothing's changed here. And I got the feeling, the impression that the apartheid is still going on in a more silent way, you know, different kind of program. Before it was out loud, now it's more silent, and that's probably worse, to say the truth, you know what I mean?
Is there anything you bring up when you get back for the kids here, what you've seen, what your thoughts are on that?
About South Africa?
Yeah, about the apartheid, you know.
Not really. People ask me, I tell them, you know, but there's nothing at all really. That I don't go up shouting off and saying that, you know, I went down there and don't go there, don't go here. Go and find out for yourself. It might be different for them. You know, I wouldn't tell no one to stop not going to South Africa if you're talking about South Africa, you know what I mean? Definitely go there. It's a good trip. 12 hours on a 12-hour flight is a good trip.
Yeah, as long as they have good food.
And good wine over in South Africa.
Yeah, well, that's...
They're known for the wine.
I remember talking about when you went to South Africa. I remember I went to the Gambia, and that was an eye opener for me. That was really eye opener because boy, I seen some way people live in a different way, with poverty and struggling, but these people were very happy, you know. And that was something I was able to bring back and speak to my children about. That, you know, the life we live and the existence that we live here in the UK is completely different in terms of the help and the benefits and the social looking after. The hospitals are free. Although all these things you have to pay for if you're in these African countries. So it's very difficult for the people in the nations to get on, because if they've not got nobody to help them to get these things set up, it's really difficult. And there was one particular incident where I was with my sister. My sister and I had travelled there, and we was in a marketplace where obviously you can imagine there's lots of people in the marketplace, and this young lady was asking for money. She had a young child strapped to her back, and what she said to us, can we help her? Can we give her some money? So my sister gave her some money, and she was very grateful, you know, really bowing down and all the rest of it. And as the lady left to walk off, we was walking off, and we heard the lady call to us. She said, excuse me. We thought, oh, she's coming back, she's going to ask her for some more money or whatever. And she said, excuse me, you dropped your money. My sister dropped the full bundle of pound. It must have been about $1,000, which is about 50 quid, which would have served that young lady quite easily, you know. But she ran over to us and she, here's your money. So even though they've got poverty, the people were still honest. And it was nice to see. It was a moving time that we actually went there, and we experienced that. And also as well, we experienced the people living in they call them communes, where they live in like these breeze block apartments, very thin roofs, and you can feel the wind blowing through them. No toilets, no running water. My sister and I spent 2 days deep in the bush, living with a family, and it was an eye opener. And that's their everyday life. This was a once in a while, you know, and the experience was amazing. We sat in the evening time having tea around a little fire in the compound. We had sardines and their local bread. That's what we had for tea, and it was peaceful. It was lovely, and it was friendly environment, and everybody was happy. But they had very little. It was really. Really sad. To think that we come home now. I remember going, we're jumping in our cars, or we're going to our houses and there's central heating there. There's running water, and these guys had nothing. For them to get water, they had to walk about half a mile down the road to go and get water by a tap, and then walk back with a bucket of water so they could wash things. And very, very primitive and very, very, to me, sad to see. But that's all they knew. They don't know nothing different. That's all they know. So that's what they come accustomed to. But it was hard. It was hard for me to see those kind of things, and to come back to live in the UK or back home, and to see some of the young people when they've got everything and they're still not trying their best to do right for themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult.
So are you brought up here in Moss Side, or you?
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
I'm a Moss Side man. I live down the road, 5 minutes down the road.
So, when I came here, I heard this terrible reputation.
Of Moss Side?
Yeah, and then I ended up in Broadfield, and I've been 3 years in Yemen now. So for me to ending up on Broadfield, it was, I still speak as much Arabic there as I did. I felt very comfortable.
Right.
And I haven't seen anything of the negative that one is supposed to see. I can see some people have a hard life.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. You see, the situation you're talking about there about people being negative. There is negativity in the Moss Side area. It is there, but you have to be involved with some kind of a gangs, or be involved with the drugs-related situation to even encounter it. You could be living in the same place here in Moss Side and you would never ever see it, not even once, because you're not party to it. You get me? Those things happen away from most people's eyes. If it's happening, closed doors and down alleyways, you don't see those things happening. You can walk up down the Moss Side streets and you'll never ever see any violence, never see any drug dealers, and you wouldn't because you're not aware of it or you're not party to it. It's just carry on as normal. So where it gets the reputation of being this bad area, I really don't know, because people like yourself come from out of town or different areas, and they come to Moss Side and they get on fine. Because you spoke to a couple of my boys. A lot of them come from. Atif comes from Accrington Stanley. He comes here every day. Jimmy then from Withenshaw. Ryan from Gorton. So they're not actually a local boy, but they've never had any problems coming into the area to do anything, and they're here every day.